And we live. Q Towel in the building. Got my boy Z with me. We about to go ahead and give our first impressions of NBA 2K17 gameplay after completing the Prelude. You know what I mean? It released Friday, a little after midnight, supposedly, whatever. Anyway, anything stick out to you about 2K17 thus
Let me
far?
give a quick disclaimer and say that I am an avid 2K hater. I play almost every year and hate it every year, but I just keep playing.
Slave to it.
But so far, I will say I didn't play the last 2K I played seriously, where I played like 100 or 200 hours, is 2K13. Played a little bit 2K15. It was pretty good. And skipped 16. But so far, I did about maybe 20 games of the 2KU, and I finished the full run through of my career. And I'm optimistic about this one. I'm not in my normal disgust mode. Like, I've actually enjoyed it, and it's not even the full game yet. But
Gotcha, man.
the controls are. I mean, every time I play the 2KU, I'm learning a little more, and it seems like the controls are really detailed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I like the timing on everything. Even the layups. Timing. So you really it caught me off guard a few times. I went to the paint. I was like, okay, easy bucket. You know what I'm saying? I just tapped square, thought it was good to go, and I was like, fuck. Straight up missed it. So I do like the fact that you should be able to skill your way to difficult baskets. You know, if you really practice your timing and everything, you can make more contact layups, and it should prevent people from just having a hyped up character where they can just run in full speed and they pretty much always gonna get an easy bucket or foul.
Yep. I mean, I'm all for having a high degree of complexity and then a learning curve, so that separates somebody who's just average from someone who really learns the game, figures out the pacing, the controls, and you can actually, historically, I mean, I've played 2K since 2K3, and historically, my biggest complaint or issue has always been the disconnect I feel between what I want to happen and what I'm able to achieve. So, like, it used to be layups for sure was the number one thing, where I would go and it's just do a layup, please, just do a layup, and then you stop short and do a contested jump shot when there was an open layup. And then just a bunch of shitty stuff that never happens in real life, where the point guard just dribbles straight into contact and loses the ball and then stands straight up and doesn't even attempt to go for the loose ball.
Yeah,
But
I like the passing too.
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay, cool. The passing, I like it. I mean, you could do different passes before, but it seems a bit more precise now. Now you can do an X to do a bounce pass. Well, particularly on the outlet. Let me specify that. Because on the outlet, I like that you can do the overhead skip pass, you can do a normal pass, or you can do a bounce pass. So that way your player doesn't throw some dumbass pass on a fast break that you would never throw in real life. You can dictate, if you're really paying attention, you're on your game, you can dictate, how that pass go, and that may determine whether they catch the ball in a good position or not. I do enjoy that as well.
Definitely, I will give credit on the passing in this one, and I'm still exploring and learning. I didn't even know how to. I swear to God, they changed the notation for an alley-oop every game. Every 2K I've ever played, it's a different notation, because I know it used to be, I think in 2K15 it was square and X that you would hold for alley-oop. 2K13 was like L2 and X, and they keep changing it. But anyway, so I figured out that you can do a flashy pass by double tapping O, and like you said, X for normal bounce pass, overhead, stuff like that. But two things I found out that were pretty cool. Like I said, I didn't play 16, so it may not be new. But if holding circle does, what do they call it, the handoff pass, where there's a basketball comes up above, and they'll run to you, and you can hand off, so you can do a protective one. And also, if you hold triangle, then that'll send a cutter to the basket, and they don't pass it until you release triangle, so you can lead someone to the basket actually.
Yeah, you can do that.
So that's new to me, and I felt like I'm experimenting with that, and I'm getting to the point of, like what I said, what I'm really hoping for is that I can see something, and when I know what I want to make happen, I can actually make it happen through the peripheral. So that's yeah. So but so far, like I said, I'm optimistic. I'm feeling, at least in the 2KU mode, I'm feeling like I'm learning a little more and doing what I want.
Yeah, I like the a lot of people call it pick and roll cheese, and it really is. It's
yeah.
I can't think about what is it, holding L2 or holding L1?
L1.
Holding it and then coming off the pick and playing that pick and roll game. Since I did make my guy a point guard, athletic point guard. So with that, I could just cheese out on people. But hopefully this year we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more controlled, a little bit more easy to stop. Before in 2K, you know, you go in and change your settings to do like a soft hedge, so they kind of back off.
Yep.
Kind of shift around it and do all that. But hopefully this year they make it even more difficult. Well, more difficult but balanced, so you can't just pick and roll the entire game, pick and roll somebody to death. But at the same time, I do understand making somebody pay. Where it's like, hey, if you don't know how to guard it, just like real life, if you don't know how to guard it, we're gonna do it to you every time.
Yeah, so, I mean that's basketball 101. I mean, Carmelo and John Stockton for what is it, 16 years or something, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll.
Most assists, and then Carmelo up there in the scoring ranks too. So
yep.
Now the oh yeah, what we talked about earlier was the balancing of the characters. Now, to me, I don't know. My players still felt, because I was hitting some threes too, although it's at an early level. I hit some threes in the Olympic game too, but it still seems like my player was decent. But that's because he wasn't playing against other NBA players.
Yeah.
But everybody seems to be kind of concerned. Everybody's like, I don't know, looking at skill caps and everything. It seems to be mixed emotions. Some people like it, and then some people don't. Some people dislike it, and then some people in the middle. I'm kind of in the middle. I like it as long as you. All I want is the potential to raise it up, but not with VP. I don't want people to be able to buy your way to a 99 player. If you can raise your caps by doing work, as they say, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But somebody brought up a good point on that same token. It was like, you don't start in my career to create an average ass player. You want to make a great player.
Yep.
And rightfully so. And that's why I was saying, I think to me, the best thing to do would be to separate your my career player. You can use the same prototype or the same look or whatever, but separate his stats from the my park stats.
Yeah.
That way you can allow people to push their my career players up to a higher level. But you can still allow that balance on the my park level, because I can understand that too. My park is just out of control, you know. Just everybody can do everything. So I don't know, man. How you feel about the leveling system or the caps right now?
When I first turned the game on and looked at everything, at first I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Basically, that was my just because of what you just said. Because my park is one of the things I look forward to. I don't know. I just really like the random aspect of it, feeling like you're going to play pickup ball. But like you said, it's just like everybody's Jordan incarnate. Everybody has a 99 player, and most of them got there from buying VC or doing the pre-order and then spending all their pre-order right on the player. And then I was like, well, shit, that's good. So it makes everybody kind of bring it down a little bit, and then you still got to grind just to even get to a pretty average level. But then after I was looking at all the archetypes, I probably spent maybe 20 minutes looking at all the archetypes, because I normally make either a tall small forward or athletic power forward, and then just kind of see which one is balanced, where I can have skills across the board, but not maybe not have the potential to be great in everything. And then I was like, well, I ended up going with the point forward, small forward, because it seemed like it has pretty balanced stats. So I went through it, played my way through, and then I went into the 2K store to look at the attribute upgrades. And it looked like most of my stats, I think I only had 2 stats that had the potential to reach 90 of all the categories. And I was like, what the fuck? It was like passing accuracy and ball control. And that was it. And my shooting, my mid-range maxed out at 79 and threes maxed out at 72. I was like, man, that ain't gonna cut it for a small forward the way I like to play. I mean, I understand that he's a playmaker primarily with that archetype. So he'll be able to handle the ball and get assists and stuff. But I was like, man. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this doing work thing is going to be implemented. It seems like it's going to be a way to raise your level caps, but I don't know like how difficult it's going to be.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If it's a grind, if you just got to out-grind people, I'm with it. If you can go in, for instance, and just lift weights all the time and you can raise strength cap up, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it, man. Make them work. Make them work to get it. I'm with that. And also the body types. That I thought that was pretty cool, and it added even more complexity to your decisions. You know, to change their shoulder width, their wingspan, the speed. Because I mean, I've never taken that long to create a player, but this time, I mean, everything affected everything. Yep. So I look more carefully at the height. I look more carefully at the wingspan, how wide I want to be, how much he wanted to weigh, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, damn, I like it, though. I like it. And it makes you kind of play in the middle. Or if you want to be super, super fast, you ain't going to be dunking on people, too.
Yep.
So it's a nice middle ground. To me, personally, as far as VC is concerned, I don't think that should ever be applied to my career players. I think you should be able to buy gear for your players if you want to pay extra money to buy gear. So be it. I think that's cool. In my team, I think it's okay to do that since you're just essentially buying trading packs, and it still boils down to chance. All those eventually, if you spend enough money, you're going to get more chances than a lot of people, but you spend money to get the cards. But as far as the career, I don't think you should be able to use VC to get that. I think they should have some kind of unique currency for your career called career points or something that you can use to raise it, and separate that from money completely. Just separate that from money all the way. And I think that would solve a lot of the problems that we're seeing with these demigods, as they call them.
Yeah, I agree, but they won't do it just because they know people will do the pay to win. Like, sure, I'll pay extra $20 if I can get an advantage right out of the gate.
Hey, yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're going to see, man. So far, so good. You know, Prelude's pretty decent. It seemed kind of easy. The college games, they did get a bit harder as I went on, especially from the scrimmage. Scrimmage was stupid easy. You know, other games were a little bit harder, but it still wasn't that bad. I might play it over again because I really want to be a top 3 pick, but as of right now, I'm going to be a lottery pick, so top 14-ish. So we'll see how that goes. Any final thoughts about your first impressions of the game? So far, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm typically a hater, and not without base. It's not like I just have a negative attitude going into the game. I give it a chance, and usually I can tell pretty quickly when stuff is happening that I know is going to piss me off. And so far, I mean, I've been playing it since it came out, and I just now played a couple more games than 2KU, and I feel pretty good about it.
Can you do that with a player that you already created?
No, you just got to do it with those random generated players, I guess. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with the point forward, small forward, but I'm gonna check over again. I kind of would like to do a shooting guard since I haven't done one in a long time. It seems like the shot creators.
Yeah, I about to say that shot creator, and I think there was another one like not Deadeye,
sharpshooter.
Whatever, sharpshooter. Yeah, I was like, boy, I mean, those shooting stats are ridiculous on that one. Everything else is kind of low, but man, if you just want to come off pits and let it ride, oh my god.
Yeah,
that class can be crazy.
I kind of want to see how the game evolves, you know, right away, and just kind of see what the landscape is. But I'm gonna stick it out since I've already started with this archetype. But that shot creator shooting guard might be on my radar. Just see what those stats are looking like.
I think I'm gonna do that too. I got my point guard, but I got another player I already made, Money Mitch. I think that one I'm gonna make him a shooter. So I'm gonna have his shooting crazy. I'll make him a shooting guard, so I might make him, I don't know, 6'5", 6'6", and I'm just gonna be coming off picks and just letting it ride. So I'm gonna have one where I drive to the paint, have an athletic point guard, and I'm gonna have one where I'm just shooting like crazy.
Yep.
But anyway, people, those are our first impressions. Put down in the comment section below what you think of 2K17. Is it destined for greatness, or is it just gonna be the same old after a while? We'll holler at you in the near future. Peace.
Later.
Nigglets.